It's the time to get down.
It's time! Marijuana for Dummies! Blow it out. Oh! Welcome, everybody. Mario's Marijuana for Dummies, featuring wonderful topics about the miseducation of marijuana. Hey, one of the things that's a big topic, believe it or not, is what to do about wiping away marijuana arrests. Because you have certain groups of people that have been disproportionately impacted. Mm-hmm. In other words, you know that they've been arresting black folks and brown folks forever for marijuana offenses. And now, while they're still in jail, a bunch of other folks are starting to make money. And they still ain't got out of jail.
Right.
So people are talking about righting these wrongs. As it turns out, I don't know, we haven't received the exact numbers for the U.S., but I know that 62% of Canadians want amnesty. I know a bunch of the states here in the United States, as they decriminalize it, have at least made for processes to try to request to have these things expunged from your records.
Okay.
But a big issue is if you're going to say that marijuana, which never should have been illegal,
true,
people of color disproportionately affected by the laws, overzealous implementation of these laws, they've been disproportionately affected. And so, what about amnesty? Correspondingly, there are a bunch of people who are upset about what I just said, that you have folks still in jail, while other folks are set to make millions of dollars, perhaps billions of dollars, while you still haven't righted the wrong. So here we have what they call the model bill for marijuana's diversity problem. The fact that when you go look at marijuana investment, you find almost no people of color. Mm-hmm. Now, this gets into cities and how things are done. And for a lot of folks, it's another sore point in a history of bias. So, the model bill. This is a 27-page document which is supposed to serve as a blueprint, and I'm reading from the site, for elected officials, advocates, and entrepreneurs to implement policies in their own respective states. Okay? It details how compassionate cannabis legislation can support communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. And it started in the fall of 2016. The MCBA and the Minority Cannabis Business Association is the MCBA.
Right.
The MCBA, which started in the fall of 2016, was the first not-for-profit league created to increasing diversity within the cannabis industry. And they invited business owners, policymakers, experts, activists to join them in Washington, D.C. to contribute their ideas and goals to the model bill. And these are supposed to be espousing the best practices learned from California, Oregon, Massachusetts. So one of the two major questions that it addresses is regarding the involvement of minorities within the cannabis conversation. How to erase, for one, the discriminatory effects of cannabis-related prosecutions, convictions, and stigmatizations. And two, how to promote the participation of people of color and women in the legal cannabis industry. There's a video up here. Let's see what it has. From the Minority Cannabis Business Association. Mike McAllister railed about this.
Well, welcome everyone to the first People of Color Cannabis Summit.
We're holding a summit here in Washington, D.C. with about 20 of the nation's leading policy experts on cannabis issues as they relate to people of color.
I'm here at the MCBA Policy Summit today because I believe it's very important that people of color continue to establish a place for themselves in this industry.
Well, I was invited by the wonderful Shalene Title to participate in this policy summit because going forward, I want to get a more hands-on approach as to how we build our laws, but also how we are inclusive of people of color who have been greatly disenfranchised by the war on drugs.
So a few of us were talking about how it would be great if we had a model bill that we could use that was exclusively crafted to address the needs and the values of people of color. A lot of us had been in the room or part of coalitions where model bills were drafted or real legislation was drafted, but those issues were kind of very small, addressed at the last minute. There was a lot of compromise. And so we thought, what if we get together, all of us, and we don't worry about what's realistic or compromising. We worry about what would really address our needs, what would be the best possible bill that we could get passed and get implemented. And then we can share it with other people across the country who are doing the same kind of work.
It was 100% organized and funded by people of color, and we had folks from almost a dozen organizations from many different places all around the country. And so I think it's the first time we've ever had this many people of color in a room together discussing what cannabis laws are in our interests. I want to see this bill get out to the public, and I want to see the public, give us their feedback on what they think that a bill for people of color would look like.
This has been one of the most amazing groups of people ever.
This is the real deal. This is real life, and we're working together to create some real change.
Love it. Minority Cannabis Business Association. Go take a look. Google them. Go get some videos. This is some amazing stuff. Again, we look at it different. Without these kinds of organizations, people of color would basically be excluded. By doing these types of efforts, you guarantee at least a teeny foothold to make an effort. Yes, Minority Cannabis Business Association. All right. Let me shrink that down. So go take a look. That's part of the issue that I wanted to bring up today and let you know that there are people out there who are addressing it. That marijuana does have a diversity problem. You got the victims dying.
Yeah,
that's what the question they brought up. Does marijuana have a diversity problem?
I mean, before the industry even gets out the gate, it seems like this is already not waiting for what they call the success of the business model years down the road, and then they do an analysis and look at the analytics and says, there's a disproportionate direction away from minority communities. And they start building this whole thing up, man. So the idea they're jumping on this right now, cause and effect, and it seems like it's progressive models and individuals who are coming from a different place that's not politically induced, if you know what I'm talking about. I love it. I love the freedom of expression.
Well,
not from the idiots, though. Not from the idiots, though.
More on this to come in the future. More on this to come. Hey, there's another heads up. I today am smoking a sativa. I've often said to people the sativas, which don't have the same physical effects, but the cerebral effects, which are pleasant, but doesn't have all the physical effects, are better in the morning. Some of you, if you have an indica in the morning, you're going to go back to bed. Okay? So you have a sativa. I'm having a wonderful sativa with a bad name. This one's entitled Trainwreck. But it's a wonderful sativa. I did go to the dispensary just the other day, you guys, and I want you to know that an ounce of Top Shelf, absolutely some of the best marijuana probably in this world. An ounce of Top Shelf marijuana from an inner city dispensary is about $210 for an ounce.
Wow.
So you can imagine if you were getting Ace or whatever, that you're spending a fraction of that.
Yeah.
The cost of marijuana is going down. I myself stocked up on sour diesel, one of those strains that everybody comes to know. Good sativa. Everybody loves sour diesel. And so I did pick up some indicas too, and we'll talk a little bit about that next week. But I just want to say, it's out there, everybody.
I had a question while you're doing it. They keep going, right? Will they start having marijuana cafes.
Marijuana for dummies.
Marijuana cafes where you can come in and taste the flavor and choose your flavor. Will that be implemented? Do you see that coming, Robin?
Okay. Will it be? You want me to guess?
Yes.
Okay. I think so, Vic. That's the model in Amsterdam.
Correct.
And one thing about the Dutch, which you come to appreciate after you travel there, I don't know that they're really liberal as they are practical.
Right.
Okay, because they still have that blackface holiday and all that kind
Yes,
of
they
stuff,
do.
too.
Yes, they do.
So, but their practicalness said that people use these things. Are they dangerous? If not, put it in a little box where you can keep it contained.
Right.
In Amsterdam, you can't call yourself a coffee house unless you sell marijuana.
True.
You are. That's what coffee house means, that you have marijuana.
Absolutely.
And you go in there. They check your ID going in just to make sure you're old enough.
Okay.
And they did check my ID.
Okay.
And then once inside, you can purchase marijuana right there.
Right.
Got a little corner in the booth in the back.
Right.
And then sit at the bar.
Is there an age limit if you're too old?
No, I don't think so.
So if you come in and you're 100, it's okay?
They probably just give you a warning.
That's all I want to know, man.
It's probably give you a warning. So yeah, I think that's the model that comes. Vic brought that up. That's the model.
All right.
I think because one thing that I think you like about it, it gets it out of the public.
Yes,
we
it
don't
does.
want people walking down the street smoking weed.
Right.
In Amsterdam, they do have people in the parks.
Yeah.
Sitting out having a picnic lunch smoking.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that one, how y'all going to deal with some of those things like that, because they do have it out in the park.
Right.
Things like that. So you'll have to deal with that.
Okay.
Man,
I'm good
great
with
question, Vic. Well, that was marijuana for dummies anyway. Extra question.